Oi friends, Rin here. I just want to say thank you for the continuous support, and this is the Ento guide. Hopefully this guide does help you guys out, and I hope you guys do enjoy. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to talk about her basic traits first, just like any other guide I have made. You know, there's nothing new, guys. So her first trait is Entomology, okay? This is when she summons a swarm of bees or insect, and if the hunter goes through the swarm of bees or insect, their movement speed is decreased by 70%. Now the hunter can destroy these swarm of bees if they are hit twice, and there won't be an attack recovery. That means that the hunter can destroy them within 1 or 2 seconds and still chase you down. Now, Entomologist can also use these swarm of bees to push the hunter back and disrupt their movement, but it's not really practical, and I'll explain why later on, so don't worry about that for now. Okay, so her next trait is something called Mixed Reagent, okay? So when she vaults a window or pallet, she lubricates the okay, that's really weird. She lubricates the window and spill honey over it or something, and she has an increased vaulting speed by 10%. So later on, when another survivor or herself, you know, vaults that same window or pallet, they will have an increased vaulting speed by 10%. Her final trait is something called Fragrance. So when she leaves the line of sight of the hunter, she is still seen for an additional 5 seconds by an outline. So this makes it harder for her to play mind games and escape away from the hunter. So now we're going to talk about things that you should know as an Ento. So the first thing that you should know as an Ento is that when you recapture your bees or bugs, it will take 20 seconds before you can use them again. Now this is the same case when the hunter destroys or hit your bees. It will take 20 seconds before you can summon them again. Another thing that you should know about Ento is that it only takes 2 hits from the hunter to destroy your bees. Meaning that if you only spawn them in to slow down the hunter and never use them, that means they can take 6 hits in total, and that means that you can spawn them in 3 times. Something to keep in mind as an Ento is that when you're trying to vault a window and you're spawning those bees in front of the window or behind the window, it doesn't matter. When the hunter vaults that window, the bees will not slow down the hunter's vaulting by any means, so don't get that idea. Now if you're trying to hide inside the swarm of bees while the hunter is trying to melee you, it will not protect you. The hunter will be able to hit you and the bees at the exact same time. The final thing that you should keep in mind as an Ento is that you can use an item from an item box once you use up all your bees, and hunters are able to use excitement or blink to go past through your bees. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how her bees work against every single hunter in the game. The bees take tentacle damage from Feaster. The bees do take fence damage from Mad Eyes. Geisha can dash through the bees. The bees can stop the rocket dash from Clown by taking a hit. Blood Queen's mirror image can hit the bees. The bees cannot be used in the photo world. Soul Weaver's web can damage the bees. In regard to Hell Ember, the Shadow Puppet and the Golem can be pushed by the bees. Ento can use her bees to block Foggy Blade from Ripper. Evil Reptilian can not only jump over the bees, but his mid-air stomp can damage Ento and the bees at the exact same time. It takes 2 bombs from Bonbon to destroy the bees. Now regarding An's jump, her jumping can be slowed down if she passes through the bees. The bees can block damage from the Fireball of Axe Boy and the Whiplash of Gamekeeper. The bees are able to push back Wu Chang's siphoning soul. Violinist notes can directly go through the bees and still hit players to slow them down. Not only that, the strings that he connects can damage the bees and the players at the exact same time. This is also the same case when he does the string wave. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to kite as an Ento, okay? So let's recall something important from earlier. I said that if the hunter destroys your bees, or when you recapture your bees, it takes 20 seconds before you can use them again. This is important when you are kiting. So when you're kiting as an Ento, you want to go into narrow areas where you can use your bees to slow down the hunter. Because if you use them in you know, I'ma just keep going. If you use your bees in narrow areas, you can slow down the hunter because they are forced to pass through them to chase you. This gives you more distance and time from the hunter. Now, it wouldn't make sense for you to use them in the open because the hunter can simply go around them, right? Now, once the hunter passed through your bees, you must recapture them, or if they get destroyed, you must wait 20 seconds. It's important that once they pass through them, that you recapture them right away. Now, once they are on cooldown of that 20 seconds, you must kite like any other player. So you would go to pallets, to stun them, or vault windows and stuff like that. Just kiting like a normal player. Now, you must understand that you cannot use the bees in aggressive way. So for you to think that it's practical to change to the bees and try to push the hunter back mid-kite, that does not make any sense. Because let me explain, the hunter's movement is stronger than the force of your bees. The hunter can push or go around your bees pretty easily if they don't destroy them. So it wouldn't make sense for you to stop mid-kite because you're not gaining any more distance if you're just standing still and using your bees. So there's only one practical way to use Ento, and that is to block shots from the hunter like Foggy Blade and stuff like that, or to slow them down, okay, in narrow areas. That is the only way to use Ento while you're kiting, so do keep this in mind. Another thing about kiting as an Ento is that you can be spawning your bees inside pallet areas, okay? It's important that you know this and you should be doing this because sometimes in certain areas, hunters are forced to go through certain pallet areas to catch up to you. So if you're spawning your bees inside these pallet areas, it will slow down the hunter, giving you more distance and time from them. And you can also be spawning your bees when you're turning corners or before you vault windows. Now, although it does not slow down the hunter's vaulting, but before they make it to the window, they will be slowed down by your bees. The main idea here is that you should be spawning your bees in forceful areas where the hunter is following your movements, okay? Like you're forcing them to follow your movements. What I mean by this is spawn your bees where the hunter have no choice but to go through these bees, giving you more distance and time. So do keep this in mind. Always be spawning your bees in places where the hunter do not have a choice but to go through or destroy these bees. Another thing about Ento is that when you're in a match and you see these pallets and these windows, you should surely be vaulting everything because it's always an advantage because you're always spreading these honey all over these pallets and windows and you're increasing the vaulting of the user. So later on, it may prove to be useful. So whether you're kiting later on or your teammate is kiting later on and they need to vault something, it may be useful and make the difference of a terror shock or getting hit. So do keep this in mind. As an Ento, you don't want to use all your bees right away because in endgame they can be useful. For example, you should be spawning your bees on top of you when you're opening that gate. So let me explain. If the hunter do teleport to you, they will be teleport into the bees and they will be slowed down right away. This will give you enough time to react and gain distance from the hunter. So do keep this in mind. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Ento rescuing. So when Ento is rescuing a survivor from a chair, she has the ability to use her bees to block a hunter's ability. So I'm talking about like Foggy Blade, Tentacle, and stuff like that. But most importantly, I want to talk about her helping a balloon survivor. If you are nearby and a survivor is getting ballooned, you should attempt to use your bees to disrupt the hunter's movement. Now, although I did say that the hunter's movement is stronger than the force of your bees, you still should try because who knows, they might struggle free. But what you should not be doing is that if they're across the map and they are getting ballooned, you should not use your bee to go across the map to help them because most likely chance they will get chaired before your bees do arrive. And if you're doing that, you are not decoding, so it's not really that practical. So you should only be attempting to help them if they are nearby. If they are not, just decode and let someone else rescue. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the persona build for Ento. So most of the time I recommend Tide Turner and Borrowed Time. But for Ento, she's kinda special. I would recommend to use Broken Windows and Borrowed Time because when she is no longer using her bees, she becomes an easy target. And the hunters know this and will always go for her, because she has nothing else to help her when the bees are on cooldown. So to further assist her kiting, she should be using Broken Windows to help her kite more efficiently while her bees are on cooldown. Hey guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the Ento guide and I hope it really helped you guys out. I'm trying to help those who are new to Ento or have any questions about Ento. If I didn't answer those questions, surely leave it in the comments and I will surely and gladly answer those questions. Now, I just want to take this time to thank every single one of you guys, and I do mean it. every single one of you guys. Because, you know, we've been on this journey for a while and we are growing super fast now, and I'm really thankful and grateful to every single one of you guys. You know, I want to say thank you for the continuous support. Now, if you guys did enjoy the video, remember to leave that like, leave a comment on what you guys would like to see next, you know, and join the Discord server if you guys have not. You know, we're really friendly. Well, I'm really friendly. So definitely do join that Discord if you guys have not. Anyways, do subscribe if you guys haven't already. And thanks once again, guys, and I'll see you guys all next time.